If you have ever tried to fix low energy with electrolytes and somehow ended up with a headache, swelling, a racing heart, or even worse, cramps, you are not imagining it. Electrolytes are not a vibe, they are a ratio, and when you push one piece too hard, your body compensates in ways that feel awful. The most common pattern is simple. You add a lot of sodium because you heard it helps hydration, but you do not add enough potassium, or you forget magnesium, or you are not actually losing that much salt in the first place. Then water shifts between compartments, nerves fire differently, and your kidneys start dumping what you just took. So this is not an anti-salt talk, it is a stop-guessing talk. We are going to walk through the most common electrolyte mistakes that make people feel worse, how to recognize the pattern, and what a more balanced approach looks like for real life, not for a lab experiment. Moving to slide 2. First, a quick mental model that makes the rest of this make sense. Electrolytes are charged minerals that help control where water goes, how muscles contract, and how nerves send signals. Sodium is mostly outside your cells. Potassium is mostly inside your cells. Magnesium is like a helper for a lot of enzymes and ion pumps. Calcium is part of muscle contraction and signaling. Your body guards blood sodium in a tight range, not because sodium is good or bad, but because it controls blood volume and pressure. When sodium rises, you tend to hold water. When sodium drops, you can feel weak, foggy, or nauseated. Potassium affects electrical stability in muscles and the heart. Too low can feel like cramps, twitching, or palpitations. Too high can also be dangerous. And here is the part people miss. You do not supplement an electrolyte, you change a system. The kidney is constantly adjusting what you retain and what you dump. So the goal is not extremes, the goal is steady inputs that match your actual losses. Moving to slide 3. Mistake number 1 is the classic. Too much salt, too fast. This often happens with strong electrolyte powders, salt shots, or heavily salted water when you are not actually sweating a lot. What does it feel like? Thirst that does not go away. A puffy face or tight rings, a heavy head, and sometimes a weird wired feeling. Some people also notice higher blood pressure readings.
The mechanism is straightforward. Extra sodium pulls water into the bloodstream.
That can temporarily increase volume. Your body then tries to restore balance by increasing thirst and pushing the kidneys to excrete sodium and water. The tricky part is timing. You might feel a brief boost, then feel worse an hour later. And if you respond by drinking a ton of plain water, you can swing the other direction and dilute sodium too much. A practical rule: match salt to sweat. If you did a hard workout, heat exposure, or long cardio, sodium makes sense. Moving to slide 4. Mistake number 2 is sneaky. Too little potassium while you keep pushing sodium. This is common if you eat a lot of packaged foods, use salty electrolyte mixes, and do not regularly eat potassium-rich foods. Potassium is abundant in whole foods. Think potatoes, beans, lentils, leafy greens, squash, yogurt, and many fruits. When potassium intake is low, you can feel muscle tightness, cramps, twitching eyelids, constipation, and sometimes a fluttery, unsettled heartbeat. Not always dramatic. Sometimes it's just that your workouts feel flat and your recovery feels slow. Here is the ratio problem. High sodium with low potassium tends to push the body toward holding onto sodium and losing potassium through the kidneys. So you can get stuck in a loop where you keep salting, keep peeing, and still do not feel stable. The fix is not megadosing potassium supplements. Those can be risky for certain people. The more reliable move is food-first potassium and moderate sodium unless you are truly losing a lot in sweat. Moving to slide 5. Mistake number 3 is forgetting magnesium, especially if you are active or under chronic stress. Magnesium is involved in hundreds of reactions, but in electrolyte terms, it helps regulate muscle relaxation and supports the sodium-potassium pump that keeps electrical balance. When magnesium is low, people often describe it as everything is tight. Calves cramp at night, feet feel twitchy, you get tension headaches, sleep feels lighter. And here is the confusing part. You might blame sodium because salt seems to make you feel more tense. But sometimes the issue is that sodium is turning the volume up on a system that is already under-supported. Magnesium loss can increase with heavy sweating. Some medications can affect it. And diets low in nuts, seeds, legumes, and leafy greens can be short on magnesium. If you add magnesium, go slow. Too much at once can cause loose stools, which then creates another electrolyte problem through fluid loss. Small, consistent amounts tend to be better tolerated. Moving to slide 6. Mistake number 4 is drinking huge amounts of plain water after sweating or during long workouts without enough electrolytes. This is how you can feel dizzy, nauseated, or get a pounding headache, even though you are hydrating. The issue is dilution. When you sweat, you lose water and sodium. If you replace only water, blood sodium can drop. Your body responds with fatigue, brain fog, and sometimes muscle cramps. In more severe cases, low sodium can become dangerous. A simple clue is your bathroom pattern. If you are peeing clear, frequently, and still feel thirsty or weak, you may be overdoing plain water relative to electrolytes. Another clue is weight change. If you gain weight during a long endurance session, that is often a sign you are taking in more fluid than you are losing. The practical approach is not to fear water. It is to pair water with an appropriate amount of sodium during long, sweaty sessions, and to avoid chugging contests when your body is already stressed. Moving to slide 7. Mistake number 5 is using electrolytes as a band-aid for low calories, low carbs, or just overall underfueling. This is where people get confused, because salt can temporarily make you feel better. If you are eating very little, glycogen stores drop. Glycogen holds water. When glycogen drops, you lose water and sodium through the kidneys. That is why low-carb transitions can cause headaches, fatigue, and lightheadedness. Salt helps because it restores some volume. But if the real issue is that you are not eating enough, electrolytes alone will not rebuild energy.
You might notice this pattern. You take electrolytes and feel okay for a bit. Then you feel shaky, irritable, or cold. That is not necessarily an electrolyte failure. It can be an energy availability problem.
So the move is to separate the two questions. Are you dehydrated or salt depleted from sweat, or are you simply underfueled? Electrolytes support hydration. They do not replace food. Moving to slide 8. Mistake number 6 is assuming all cramps are low electrolytes. Cramps are complicated. They can come from fatigue, poor conditioning, dehydration, low sodium, low magnesium, low potassium, or just pushing a muscle past its current capacity. Here is why that matters. If you treat every cramp with more salt, you can overshoot sodium and still cramp, especially if the cramp is mostly neuromuscular fatigue. The muscle is tired, the nerve firing gets chaotic, and it locks up. A better way to think is pattern recognition. If cramps happen with heavy sweat and you also feel lightheaded, sodium may be part of it. If cramps happen at night with twitching and poor sleep, magnesium and overall recovery may be part of it. If cramps happen with constipation and low produce intake, potassium might be part of it. And sometimes the fix is boring. More gradual training load, better warm-ups, more rest. Electrolytes help when the problem is electrolytes. They cannot substitute for conditioning. Moving to slide 9. Mistake number 7 is ignoring your baseline diet. If you eat mostly whole foods, your sodium intake might be relatively low. If you eat lots of packaged foods, sauces, and restaurant meals, sodium can already be high before you add electrolyte drinks. This is where people talk past each other. One person says, "Salt changed my life." Another says, "Salt makes me feel terrible." Both can be true, because their baselines are different. A quick reality check is to look at the boring stuff. Do you regularly eat soups, deli-style meats, packaged snacks, frozen meals, or salty condiments? That tends to push sodium up. Do you eat potassium-rich foods daily? That tends to push the sodium-potassium balance in a better direction. And if you track anything, track consistency, not perfection. A steady baseline diet makes your electrolyte needs predictable. When your intake is chaotic, your symptoms are chaotic. So before you change supplements, look at the foundation. Your daily food pattern is the biggest electrolyte stack you have. Moving to slide 10. Mistake number 8 is forgetting that caffeine, heat, and stress change your fluid balance. Caffeine can have a mild diuretic effect in some people, especially if you are not used to it. Heat increases sweat loss. Stress hormones can change how much water and sodium you retain. So you can have days where your usual electrolyte routine suddenly feels off. You might feel dry mouth and still pee a lot. Or you might feel puffy and thirsty at the same time. That is not you failing. That is your context changing. This is where flexibility matters. If you have a hot day with heavy sweat, you may need more sodium and fluid. If you have a high-stress day with poor sleep and lots of caffeine, you might do better with moderate sodium, more potassium-rich foods, and not over-chugging water. Also pay attention to timing. Loading electrolytes late at night can disrupt sleep for some people, either from thirst, bathroom trips, or a wired feeling. Your body is not a spreadsheet. It is a feedback system. Use the context to adjust the dose. Moving to slide 11. Mistake number 9 is chasing a specific number from an influencer protocol without considering your body size, sweat rate, and medical context.
Some people sweat heavily and lose a lot of sodium. Others do not.
Some people have kidney issues, blood pressure concerns, or take medications that change electrolyte handling.
So copying a high-sodium plan can backfire fast. The symptoms that should make you pause are persistent swelling, shortness of breath, unusual weakness, confusion, or heart rhythm sensations that feel new.
Those are not push-through signals.
Even without any major condition, dose matters.
A small person taking the same sodium load as a large endurance athlete can feel rough. And stacking sources is common. Salty food plus electrolyte drink plus salt tablets. Suddenly it is a lot. A safer mindset is to start low and titrate. Use the minimum that solves the problem. And if you have a health condition that affects kidneys, heart, or blood pressure, it is worth getting personalized guidance rather than experimenting. Electrolytes are powerful. That is exactly why they deserve respect. Moving to slide 12. Mistake number 10 is missing the sodium plus carbohydrate connection during longer efforts. If you do endurance training, or long hikes, or long work shifts in heat, you are not just losing minerals, you are also burning fuel. Carbohydrates help absorption of sodium and water in the gut. That is why many sports drinks combine sugar with sodium. If you go 0 calorie only, sometimes your gut absorption is slower, and you end up with sloshing stomach, nausea, or you just cannot catch up. Now, you do not need a sugary drink for a short workout. But for long sessions, especially if intensity is moderate to high, a small amount of carbohydrate can improve tolerance and hydration efficiency. This also ties back to the underfueling problem. If you are pushing electrolytes but refusing any calories, you may get lightheaded and blame sodium. Or you may overdrink water and dilute sodium. So think in systems. For long duration, you often need a 3-part plan: fluid, sodium, and some fuel. The exact amounts depend on your sweat and your gut. Moving to slide 13. Now let's make this practical. How do you troubleshoot electrolytes without turning it into a chemistry project? Step 1. Identify the scenario. Are you sweating heavily for more than an hour? Are you sick with vomiting or diarrhea? Are you transitioning to a lower carb diet? Or are you just tired at a desk job? Those are different problems. Step 2.
Look for the dominant symptom cluster. Puffy and thirsty points toward too much sodium
or too much total fluid. Lightheaded with heavy sweat points toward sodium and fluid replacement.
Cramps with twitching and poor sleep points toward magnesium and recovery.
Constipation and low produce points toward potassium intake.
Step 3. Change one variable at a time for a few days.
Do not change sodium, potassium, magnesium, and fluid all at once. You will not know what helped. And step 4. Use food as a stabilizer. Whole foods bring potassium and magnesium along with fiber and energy. Supplements are tools, not a lifestyle. If you do this calmly, most mystery symptoms start making sense. Moving to slide 14. Let's wrap it up with a grounded checklist you can actually use. If electrolytes make you feel worse, the first question is not which brand. It is, which imbalance did I create? If you feel puffy, overly thirsty, or get a heavy headache after salty drinks, consider that you might be overdoing sodium for your current sweat level. If you keep salting but still cramp, look at potassium-rich foods and magnesium, and also look at training fatigue. If you are drinking tons of water and peeing clear all day, consider dilution and whether you need more sodium during long sweaty periods. And if you are trying to replace food with electrolytes, expect your energy to stay unstable. Here is my one subscription ask. If you want more practical physiology like this, subscribe. And for a quick comment, which is more common for you? A, too much salt, or B, too little potassium? This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Longevity is engineered, not inherited.